The entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well in Sioux Valley Dakota Nation.
Sioux Valley Dakota Nation has a self-government agreement, and part of the thinking was that in addition to governance and good financial management and all the other things that go with that, we also need to look at economic development as one of the drivers for employment, for community well-being, and just generally stepping into an area where First Nations have often been overlooked. So quite a while ago, we're talking about economic development and what we could do locally. And because we're about 9 kilometers off the Trans-Canada Highway, it's very hard to plan on anything where we could have substantial numbers going through our businesses. So we looked at purchasing land on the number 1. So I began working with a local farmer, and he had agreed to sell us 80 acres of land.
As the role of lands director, we're looking for economic development solutions that allow for us to create opportunities not only for the people looking for employment now, but future generations. We're always thinking 7 generations or thinking to the future and the young ones and what would be best for them moving forward.
So we had already started building a Petrocan station there, which today employs a number of people. So it is possible for Sioux Valley Dakota Nation to get into economic development, to develop a business from the ground up. This tells me that we are capable, have the ability, we have the resources, we have the capacity, and we have the local young people that want to work.
I think it's important to restore that proud identity, as Dakota, as people of the land, but also we want to make sure they have the tools of tomorrow, which is some of the science and technology. So what we call that is two-eyed seeing. One eye is focused on tradition and culture, and the other eye is on Western science and technology. And so together, I think when you equip these kids or this next generation with those tools, you allow them to be successful. There's a lot of talk about truth and reconciliation, and there's not enough action. First Nations have long-standing issues with inadequate housing, limited work opportunities. We also have limited access to health and education. These type of developments could really benefit not just the First Nation, but the surrounding communities on all levels, federal, provincial, municipal. This is a strategy that really helps all. And it's not just about our youth, it's about all youth coming together. We need projects that unite us. And a development of this nature, I believe, creates just that.
For me, my excitement is for the youth. With these developments, this creates a lot of opportunities for our youth. For some, this could be like, the first job they ever had, and this will kind of teach them more responsibility and independence. And it's very exciting. It helps them build a foundation.
It's not only a financial endeavor, it's also an investment in the community's mental health. It's an investment in giving people hope. It's an investment in giving our young people ideas on what they could do in terms of future goals, aspirations. There's opportunities there for accountants. There's opportunities there for business management, hospitality. All these things that come with a good, robust economy where there's all kinds of businesses that interact with each other and bring some value to the community members.
There's a lot of really good projects on the horizon. There's the relocation of a gaming center, a mini casino that's going to take place on the number 1 highway. that's going to house potentially a food court, recreational center of one sort or another, as well as cubicle-type gaming stations for all members, as well as surrounding jurisdictions like Brandon to utilize as part of the gaming offerings Sioux Valley Dakota Nation has to Manitoba. This chief and council's been extremely progressive under the leadership of Vincent Tacan, and has led many of these initiatives, which are all in the formation stage and are going to come to fruition in the next year.
There's lots of people that need healing around here.
Welcome to the Sioux Valley Health Center. My name is Christopher. I'm the director of Sioux Valley Health. So recognizing that at times there seems to be a sense of hopelessness and a lack of opportunities, the ability to actually have purposeful work within the community pays several folds. So one of the other things that we recognize, again, just in terms of health center needs, so the expansion project, it would be helpful to have additional funding so that we would be able to support more clinicians within community, because again, something that's happening as we start to subspecialize, we also recognize a lot of our community needs that aren't necessarily being met.
Hello. Hi. Before I was the only one that was doing all the mental health follow-ups in the community, and now that we have more workers, it's been a great help.
We know there's issues out here, and like everywhere else, there is addiction issues, so we are doing our best to fight that battle and do what we can for our community members out there.
It's all about engagement. We spend a lot of time, we try and find ways to engage with the community. These guys do a lot of special activities. We do a lot of kind of meetings, getting together and talking, and yeah, it's all about engagement. It's all about the time we spend on the ground in the community.
Currently, we have the Aboriginal Diabetes Initiative program that myself and the community health representatives work on. We have had some success with some evening programs throughout the summer, reaching people a little bit more in community.
Well, I've really enjoyed getting to know the community and establishing relationships and doing some education about the importance of foot care.
The school was originally built for 212 students, I believe, because I was the director of education when it was built. And we were over capacity while it was being constructed. We were 40 over or 50 over students by then already, because their birth rates are 5 years behind what the government uses. So that's always a challenge. Similarly, right now, your population statistics are way behind. It says that we've only acquired 27 people since 10 years ago. I don't believe that.
And you're not required.
You would never put your grandchildren in a facility that's made for 200 people and expect 400 people to be in it. That's always my explanation.
I think that's very important.
Yep.
So we're getting to the point where we're looking at allocating land based on economic development, agriculture, and housing. So it's exciting to have something that's on the corner of the 1 and 21. This is something that was talked about for a number of years. We finally have it, and now it's time to go on to the next step and develop that property.
Under the stewardship of Chief Tacan, a lot of resources were brought in order to shore up a lot of deficiencies that occurred in finances, in reporting, and various other related jurisdictions, including moving forward a claim with the federal government of Canada, moving forward economic development that would create employment opportunities for the members, as well as taking ownership and control over child and family services, as well as policing in the community. These are all very top priority necessities for the members of the nation. This was what Chief Tacan and his council posted and promised the membership, and this is exactly what the group is collaboratively working towards providing in the next 12 months. Now, I talked about some of the obstacles that this particular community faced at the beginning. Having access to their own data, being able to generate financial statements on a segmented basis to report back to the membership. Those troubling areas have been remedied now, providing Sioux Valley Dakota Nation with a unique opportunity to move forward. You've got recreation, you've got an equine center, you've got gaming coming, you've got food courts coming, you've also got the potential for other venues that'll be developed, and these will all be done as part of an interactive interaction with members of the community through a website, mining the minds of all of the members to make sure that we're able to articulate and we're able to bring to fruition the concept envisioned by the members of the community. This was part of the leadership of the chief and his council, and this is exactly what type of project that they've tasked us with assisting in various areas to develop for the community.
We're hoping to develop the space needed for these folks to set up and run a business. Our role would be just to lease space, pretty much like a strip mall scenario. We're hoping to turn the cycles around where our people were dependent on government funding based on policy, and now it's up to us to reverse that cycle and reverse that trend and start to work with our own people to set up their own businesses. In the meantime, we're also looking at this as a partnership with our surrounding neighbors. There will be opportunities for them as well to invest in a site. I've had some calls already from folks that are interested in setting up businesses on that property once we develop. We are in a location now where it's in my opinion, it's underserviced. Southwest Manitoba is needing something, whether it's a commercial draw or a draw based on tourism.
You know, just down 1 block away is a rail line. I think that's important. You know, you got Griswold just on the other side of the highway, a piece of land that has the potential to grow. I read a report from Transport Canada, and they intend to build an overpass there. So it's not hard for one's imagination to see how exciting that could be if they're going to build that for an influx of traffic, and we're trying to build an economic development strategy that capitalizes on an influx of traffic. I believe you have the potential or the perfect location. As it's said in many business and realty or property, it's location, location, and location.
There's really nothing stopping people from driving straight through west of Brandon and onto Regina. So we need something here. There's a large population of people here that are looking for different businesses, different places to go. We think we can fill all those areas. We think that once we get going, there'll be opportunities for everyone, and this could be a destination point for some.
And when they built the Petro there, I think the sales were a record high for First Nations, and it just happens to be that right spot, just that perfect spot for that true economic development strategy to take off. So, you know, one of the strategies that you hear so much of is a land back strategy. And what you see here on Stats Canada, if you take a look at any of their facts, is an aging farming populace. And there's real concern who's going to replace those folks when they retire. And we're talking about a number that's 100,000. 100,000 farmers we're going to lose in the Canadian economy. And then you have this idea of land back. And when you take a look at the projection and the population consensus numbers, you're looking at First Nations outpacing any other ethnic group by 18 to 9 times the amount. Some of these populaces are in decline. From 2014 to 2019, First Nations were growing 18 times faster than any other populace, and then from 2019 to 2024, 9 times. Those are staggering numbers, and when you do the math on that, you see an opportunity that exists. So when you have an economic development strategy that allows you to capture revenue-generating opportunities of this size, you could start to acquire some of these lands. And if we equip our young folks with the education that we need with agriculture and maybe becoming herdsmen or ranchers, you really start to see a strategy where not only do you get the land back, but we actually contribute and bring back to the Canadian economy in a good way where everybody wins.
We're looking to set some precedents here. We're looking to succeed. We're looking to show that our First Nations are good partners, that we can succeed, that we have the same goals as everyone else. We want economic development, and further to that, we just want employment for our young people. We want to have the same opportunities as everyone else, but in doing so, we want to have a good approach where we work in a respectful way with everyone around us, and we have something that we can look back on and be proud of.